In our previous video, we explored 10 fascinating facts about the Airbus A380. And to our surprise, it received quite a lot of views and positive feedback from you all. So today, we're back with a brand new follow-up, featuring 10 more incredible facts about this legendary double-decker aircraft. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, no worries. Just click the link in the top right corner of the screen to catch up. And now, without further ado, let's dive into the video. Fact number 1. Only 15 airlines have ever operated the Airbus A380. Although it is the largest passenger aircraft ever built, the Airbus A380 has a surprising statistic. Only 15 airlines worldwide have ever operated it in commercial service. That number is remarkably low compared to the hundreds of airlines currently flying across the globe. This highlights a key truth. The A380 isn't a plane for every carrier. It's a jet for the few, not the many. Of those 15 airlines, only around 10 still operate the A380 on regular commercial routes today. Leading the pack is Emirates, by far the largest A380 operator with over 100 in its fleet. Singapore Airlines made history as the first airline to fly the A380 in 2007. Other major carriers that continue to operate the aircraft include British Airways, Qantas, Qatar Airways, Etihad Airways, Lufthansa, Korean Air, Asiana Airlines, and All Nippon Airways, ANA. A particularly intriguing name among current operators is Global Airlines, a UK-based startup that acquired a second-hand A380 from China Southern. Although they don't hold a commercial air operator certificate yet, Global Airlines is leasing pilots and maintenance from Hi Fly Malta to run charter flights. In May 2025, they launched flights between Glasgow and New York, a bold move that marked the unexpected return of the A380 in a post-pandemic world. On the other side, 5 airlines have officially retired the A380 from their fleets. Air France was among the first to fully phase out its 10 A380 in 2020, citing high operational costs. China Southern and Malaysia Airlines followed, withdrawing their A380s due to limited flexibility and pandemic-driven downturns. Thai Airways, which once operated 6 A380s, sold them off entirely in 2023. Lastly, Hi Fly Malta, which briefly operated a second-hand A380, 9HMIP, from 2018 to 2020, discontinued its use due to a lack of consistent charter demand. In total, with just over 250 Airbus A380s built over an 18-year production run, the fact that only 15 airlines ever operated it underscores the aircraft's niche status. Not every airline had the passenger volume, infrastructure, or business model to justify flying a 2-deck aircraft that could seat over 800 people. This makes the A380 both an icon of luxury and ambition, and one of the most complex operational challenges in modern aviation history. Fact number 2. Why no US airline has ever operated the Airbus A380? Many people assume that the reason no US airline flies the Airbus A380 is simply because they prefer Boeing over Airbus. Given the rivalry between the two aerospace giants, and Boeing being a US-based company, it's an understandable assumption. But in reality, that's not the reason at all. US carriers operate a wide range of Airbus aircraft. American Airlines flies over 400 Airbus A319s, A320s, and A321s. Delta has embraced the full Airbus family, from the A220 and A320 to the A330 and A350. United has also placed significant orders for the long-range A321XLR to replace its aging 757 fleet. So no, US airlines are not anti-Airbus. They choose aircraft based on performance, economics, and route compatibility, not brand loyalty. So why did none of them ever choose the A380? The real reason lies in network strategy and operational suitability. The A380 is an ultra-high-capacity aircraft designed for hub-to-hub operations, moving large numbers of passengers between 2 mega airports. But US airlines use a multi-hub, point-to-point model, connecting dozens of medium to large airports across the country rather than funneling everything through a single global hub. That makes it difficult to consistently fill 500 to 800 seats on a single flight. Furthermore, the A380 is a four-engine aircraft, which means higher fuel burn and maintenance costs compared to modern twin-engine long-haul jets like the Boeing 787 or Airbus A350. These smaller, more efficient aircraft offer greater flexibility in flight scheduling and are better suited for U.S. airlines, which prioritize frequent departures and passenger choice. Handling such a large aircraft also introduces complex logistical and security challenges, especially at airports not optimized for A380 operations. Fact number 3. What happens to retired or decommissioned Airbus A380s? The Airbus A380 is a modern aviation icon, but not every A380 ends its life with glamour. When one of these giants is retired from commercial service, its journey doesn't just stop. It branches off into several possible paths. Many A380s are first sent into long-term storage at aircraft boneyards located in dry climates, such as Mojave and Victorville in the US, or Tarbes and Teruel in Europe. These facilities help preserve the airframes in a stable environment, while airlines decide their fate. For instance, Malaysia Airlines' entire A380 fleet is currently stored in Tarbes, France, awaiting sale or conversion. Several aircraft from Air France and Qantas have also been placed into deep storage, not officially retired but no longer in active service. Some of these aircraft enter a second phase, part out and salvage. High-value components, including engines, landing gear, avionics, and hydraulic systems, are removed and reused as spare parts to support the remaining A380s still flying. This is becoming increasingly important as Airbus has ended A380 production and part supply is limited. In these cases, the airframe becomes a live inventory warehouse, sitting quietly in the desert. Not all A380s are dismantled. A select few have been brought back into service after COVID-19, as passenger demand rebounded and delays in deliveries of next-generation aircraft like the Boeing 777X left a temporary gap. Lufthansa, for example, has reactivated several A380s for long-haul routes to the US. In a more unconventional comeback, UK startup Global Airlines acquired a used A380 from China Southern. However, for aging airframes or those deemed no longer economically viable, the final stop is full dismantling and recycling. At specialized facilities like Tarmac Aerosave in France and Spain, the aircraft are disassembled part by part. The remaining fuselage is crushed and recycled, extracting aluminum, titanium, and carbon composites, marking the end of a majestic chapter in aviation history. Fact number 4. The Airbus A380 is one of the safest aircraft ever built. The Airbus A380 has achieved one of the most outstanding safety records in commercial aviation history. Since it entered service in 2007, more than 250 A380s have completed nearly 1 million flights and logged around 10 million flight hours, without a single fatal accident or hull loss. Among all those flights, only 2 serious incidents have been reported, both involving uncontained engine failures: Qantas Flight 32 in 2010 and Air France Flight 066 in 2017. While both were potentially catastrophic events, the crews managed to land the aircraft safely, and no passengers or crew were injured. This extraordinary record is no accident. The A380 was built with multiple layers of redundancy, from flight control systems and avionics to its wing and fuselage structures. Every critical function has a backup. Additionally, the aircraft has been subject to strict maintenance and inspection standards, especially after minor wing structure cracks were discovered early in its service life. Thanks to quick intervention from Airbus and global aviation regulators, those issues were resolved well before they could pose any serious risk. Fact number 5. The Airbus A380 forced airports to upgrade infrastructure. The Airbus A380 isn't just the largest passenger aircraft ever built. It's also the aircraft that forced the world's airports to evolve. From the moment the first A380 entered service, dozens of major international airports had to invest heavily in infrastructure upgrades just to accommodate its sheer size and capacity. With a wingspan of nearly 80 meters, the A380 exceeded the standard operational specifications for most airports at the time. To receive it, many airports had to expand runways, reinforced pavements, and redesigned taxiways to meet ICAO Code F requirements, the highest classification for civil aircraft. Airports like Dubai, Los Angeles, London Heathrow, Singapore Changi, and New York JFK undertook massive projects to adapt their airfields to handle the superjumbo. But it wasn't just the tarmac. Inside the terminals, airports had to rethink the way passengers board. Because the A380 has two full-length passenger decks, many airports installed dual-level jet bridges, one for the upper deck and one for the lower, to speed up boarding and deplaning. One striking example: Glasgow Airport in Scotland invested over £8 million to widen taxiways and install a double jet bridge system specifically to accommodate Emirates A380 service to Dubai. While the costs were significant, the long-term benefits of these upgrades proved worthwhile. The improvements helped airports modernize and increase their capacity to handle other wide-body aircraft like the Boeing 777 and Airbus A380. In many expansion projects, A380-specific upgrades accounted for only 1 to 2% of total budgets, but they were critical to positioning those airports as truly global hubs. Fact number 6. London Heathrow has welcomed more A380 operators than any other airport. Throughout the operational life of the Airbus A380, no airport has become a more iconic and popular destination for the superjumbo than London Heathrow. As the United Kingdom's busiest airport, Heathrow has also earned the unofficial title of the A380's international home, having received more different airlines operating the double-decker aircraft than any other airport in the world. As of now, at least 11 airlines have operated A380 flights to Heathrow, including major names like British Airways, Emirates, Singapore Airlines, Qatar Airways, and Qantas. Even airlines that have since retired their A380 fleets, such as Malaysia Airlines, Thai Airways, and China Southern, once flew the aircraft to London. Notably, both Korean Air and Asiana Airlines, South Korea's two flag carriers, have also flown the A380 on the Seoul-London route. Based on what I've found, Korean Air operated A380s to Heathrow, but I'm not entirely sure about Asiana. Feel free to confirm or clarify that in the comments below. At its peak, Heathrow handled up to 50 A380s flights per day, connecting London with key cities such as Dubai, Doha, Singapore, Sydney, Seoul, Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, and Los Angeles. At one point, it was estimated that A380s accounted for nearly 10% of the airport's total daily passenger traffic. With such high frequency, wide route diversity, and participation from nearly every major A380 operator, London Heathrow has become an essential part of the superjumbo's global journey. Fact number 7. ANA, the smallest A380 operator before Airbus ended production. Among global carriers operating the Airbus A380, All Nippon Airways ANA stands out for taking a very different approach. While airlines like Emirates and Singapore Airlines have dozens of A380s in their fleets, ANA owns just 3, the smallest A380 fleet in the world. All 3 of ANA's A380s are uniquely branded as Flying Honu, inspired by the Hawaiian green sea turtle, a symbol of good luck and prosperity. Each aircraft is painted in a different color: blue, turquoise, and orange, representing the sky, the ocean, and the Hawaiian sunset. But what makes ANA's A380s truly special isn't just the livery, it's the route. ANA exclusively uses all 3 A380s on a single route, Tokyo Narita to Honolulu. This leisure-focused route is extremely popular among Japanese families, honeymooners, and vacationers heading to Hawaii. Unlike other airlines that use the A380 to connect major hubs across the globe, ANA has strategically optimized the world's largest passenger aircraft for just one market, one that is short-haul by A380 standards and highly specialized in passenger demographics. To match the nature of this route, ANA has focused heavily on passenger experience. The aircraft interiors are configured with all 4 classes: first class, business suites, premium economy, and spacious economy, each designed with comfort and relaxation in mind for a 7-hour holiday flight. Fact number 8. Global Airlines, the newest Airbus A380 operator. In May 2025, Global Airlines, a young UK-based startup, made aviation history by becoming the most recent airline to operate the Airbus A380. Founded in 2021, the company acquired its first A380 in May 2023. This aircraft had previously flown with China Southern Airlines and was fully refurbished before taking off on its inaugural commercial flight on May 15, 2025. From Glasgow to New York JFK, operated under a wet lease by Hi-Fly Malta. At the time of launch, Global Airlines owned just one A380, making it the smallest A380 fleet in the world. However, the airline has announced plans to expand, with 3 additional A380s expected to join the fleet shortly. The company positions itself as a hybrid between a premium charter and a scheduled carrier, aiming to recreate the golden age of flying with a luxury-focused experience. Despite early skepticism, tickets for the first transatlantic flight sold out quickly, reflecting strong public interest in their high-end onboard product. Fact number 9. Hi-Fly, the first airline to operate a second-hand A380. In 2018, Hi-Fly, a Malta-based ACMI carrier, made aviation history by becoming the first airline in the world to operate a second-hand Airbus A380 commercially. The aircraft, registered as 9HMIP, was previously part of Singapore Airlines fleet and was one of the earliest A380s ever delivered. After undergoing a full refurbishment, it returned to the skies in a striking Save the Coral Reefs livery, serving as an airborne ambassador for marine conservation. During its time in operation, Hi-Fly's A380 flew on behalf of various airlines through wet lease agreements, including Norwegian, Air Australia, and even Venezuelan carrier Estelar. It became the first A380 ever to land in Venezuela, opening new ground for the superjumbo. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, Hi-Fly adapted the aircraft for humanitarian missions, removing seats to transform it into a freighter used for medical cargo and repatriation flights. However, by late 2020, Hi-Fly retired the aircraft due to high maintenance costs and reduced demand in the post-pandemic era. Although its operational life lasted less than 3 years, the journey of 9HMIP proved that the A380, even as a used aircraft, could still serve a valuable role when operated creatively and flexibly. It remains a memorable chapter in the A380's complex history and a testament to aviation's adaptability during turbulent times. Fact number 10. The final A380 delivery. After more than a decade of production, the Airbus A380 program officially came to a close when the last aircraft was delivered to Emirates, the airline most closely associated with the superjumbo. The aircraft, with manufacturer serial number MSN272 and registration A6EVS, was handed over on December 16, 2021, at Airbus's Hamburg facility in Germany. It marked the 123rd A380 received by Emirates, out of a total of 251 A380s produced, underscoring the airline's extraordinary commitment to the program. From the first commercial flight with Singapore Airlines in 2007 to this final handover in 2021, the A380 production line spanned 14 years, during which it became a symbol of ambition and innovation in aviation. While changing market dynamics and high operating costs ultimately led to the aircraft's discontinuation, A6EVS became a fitting final chapter to one of Airbus's most iconic creations. Though the A380 may no longer be built, its legacy as a technological marvel lives on, especially in the skies above Dubai.